Friday, Fiesta in the Park, Hispanic Heritage Night. First of three, Padres and Diamondbacks. Ole! Deep left field. That's plenty deep. And Amarista has given the Padres another walk-off win. How do you figure that? 5-4, 5-4, back-to-back walk-off wins. The Padres only have 4 all year. Another authored by Amarista last night as the Padres take the series against the Giants. We called in the guy who knows how to pinch hit. Mark Grant is off for the weekend. Mark Sweeney sits in for Mudd. And we go ahead with a 3-game series with these Arizona Diamondbacks.
Looking forward to this series, and it's the team ahead of them, the Padres. So it is very important moving forward.
They're separated by only 1 game for third place in the West. Well, we're going to see after 3 years, Casey Kelly back on the mound as the starter.
What an emotional start for Casey Kelly, and you see the last time on the mound in 6 starts in 2012. Well, that's a long period of time, mentally, physically coming back on. He did pitch a couple innings in relief in Colorado, which was very important moving forward. But tonight, emotionally trying to get through this. It was last Saturday that he got on the mound against Colorado. That was very important. Now it's the next stepping block in Casey Kelly's maturation process, coming off a huge injury.
Wait a minute. Tommy John surgery, that's what put him on the sidelines for 3 years. You're saying now it's more mental than physical?
It's more mental than physical, just getting over those blocks, because there's something in your head that says, I want to be healthy. Now he has to prove it to himself.
Well, he'll be going against RUBBY De La Rosa of the Diamondbacks. What is it with these boys will be boys, or are they men will be men? These walk-off celebrations. Another one last night. Allie Sturm comes back with a choreography of a walk-off. Costco. What we feed them matters. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new spicy nacho chicken sandwich munchie meal tonight.
Back-to-back walk-off wins for our Padres, and with every walk-off, there is a very special celebration and highly anticipated moment. And I was able to ask some of the guys in the clubhouse, what are the guidelines to these moments? Who knows to go in for the tackle? Who knows to grab the Gatorade? And here's what Jed Jerko and Sean Kelly had to tell me.
I'm not sure if there's such a plan. We just go out there and try to, smack them in the head, beat them up a little bit, whatever it takes. Just obviously, it's an exciting time. Everyone likes to walk off, so we have a lot of fun with it.
The goal is definitely to tackle the guy, for sure. Throw water on him. I don't personally like walk-offs because if I give up a walk-off, that's a bad thing for me and my team. So, but they're fun to celebrate. So, a lot of times I miss them coming in from the bullpen. But if I get in there in time, I'll punch him in the gut or jump on him.
As Sean Kelly says, punch him in the gut or jump on him. And I think I even saw they were rubbing some dirt, and Alexi Amaristas here. But coming up next, the Padres look to continue the party this weekend as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks for Game 1 of this series. Dick Enberg and Mark Sweeney have the first call on Fox Sports San Diego.
Like so many others, packed with promise, full of dreams. Injuries, including Tommy John, detoured his path, but his determination and belief never wavered. Last week, he returned to a major league mound in relief. Tonight, Casey Kelly gets his first big league start in almost 3 years, a time to build the dreams he left behind. And so the focus on Casey Kelly at age 25, product of Sarasota, Florida. His dad, a longtime baseball man, had a minor league career, is here to cheer on his son. His heart has to be pumping as he comes out to the rubber in the middle of this beautiful ballpark. And the Diamondbacks lineup, and it's a good one, facing Casey Kelly tonight, is brought to you by Hyundai. No less than 5, count them, of the 8 regulars hitting 300 or better. INCIARTE will start it off. Then Phil Gosselin, the former Atlanta Braves product. A.J. Pollock having a breakout year, 317. Then Paul Goldschmidt at 319. How about David Peralta hitting 5th with a 310 average? Wellington Castilla brings a home run bat to the lineup. Jake Lamb, third baseman. Young Brandon Drury hit a home run yesterday at Dodger Stadium. He's hitting 300 in his brief appearances. And Ruby De La Rosa on the mound.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report for Casey Kelly. And easy said than done, but stay composed on the mound. Calm the nerves, because this is going to be very emotional, and hard work pays off. He has worked very hard for this moment and seized this moment.
A first-round pick out of Sarasota, Florida high school by the Boston Red Sox. 7 years ago, he was the 30th overall selection. Major League Baseball thought highly of him, and here we go. First pitch is in there for a strike at 91. INCIARTE, just 24. Venezuelan. He's a tough out. There are plenty of those in this lineup for the D-backs. Chop to the left side. Got to hurry, Amarista, and he gets him by a stride. Here's the Padres defense along with Amarista, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Jankowski will patrol center with Upton in left and Kemp in right. On the infield, Spanchenberg starts tonight at third base. Solardi still favoring that hamstring. Amarista and Jerko up the middle. And Myers on the bag at first base. Derek Norris, the hitting hero last night, behind the plate. Phil Gosselin takes a strike at 92.
Well, good to see Alexi Amarista, especially with that walk-off hit, getting the start at shortstop. You always want that guy that had the big moment get that spot start the next day.
First breaking ball. Manager Murphy in a good mood as we go to work on the weekend. Hispanic Heritage Night. One and two on the slider.
Well, let's look at Casey Kelly's delivery, and he rides his legs, and you get on top of that pitch. A very athletic frame.
Look at the action on the arm. My goodness.
But he does have solid mechanics, which will help control that.
Fly ball left center. That's a long run for Upton. Can he get there? Can center fielder Jankowski? No. Plays it on a hop, and into second base goes Gosselin with a well-aimed double. Wasn't struck solidly, but he got it between left fielder Upton and Jankowski for the two-base hit.
Well, it looked like Jankowski was pulled over to that right center gap. And like you said, Dick, perfectly placed. See the curveball? This ball is hit off the end of the bat. You could hear it off the bat. Didn't sound very good, but perfect placement in between both outfielders.
Almost a check-up wedge into the green. A.J. Pollock, what a season he's enjoying. All-star season. Leads and runs and hits, doubles. Batting .317 with 18 home runs. Everything almost doubled from his best years.
Yeah, and you think about this player, too, and a lot of comps with McCutchen from Pittsburgh because of the center fielder being an MVP. Well, A.J. Pollock has a lot of better numbers than Andrew McCutchen.
Just 27 years of age. Former Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. There's Chip Hale in his first year as the skipper of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Former University of Arizona star. Played on the '86 national champs. How about our keys to the game, Mark Sweeney, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, you got to ride the wave of victory, and it is an emotional ride. As Ali talked about, the two walk-off wins for the Fighting Pods, and also for Casey Kelly, take those positive steps. Have some good thoughts coming out of this start, which is very important emotionally.
Trying to get out of this first inning unscathed with Gosselin at second. And a base hit to center. Pollock continues his hitting, charged well by Jankowski. Here comes his throw to the plate, cut off by Myers, can't handle it. So into second base goes Pollock. And the D-backs get a run early. Pollock with his 71st run batted in. The second base on the throw.
Well, I'm wondering why Myers actually cut this off. You see the line drive to center field. It's a one hopper to Jankowski, and he plays it nicely, gets behind this baseball, and you see the throw. It has to go over the mound, going up that third base line. And probably would have been a little bit late, but if you're going to cut that baseball as a first baseman, you have to cut it and make sure that guy doesn't get to second base.
And here's Paul Goldschmidt with a rash of 300 hitters in the lineup for Arizona. He has the top average and one of the best in baseball, 317. And he also up there amongst the leaders in home runs, 31. Runs batted in, 104.
He's got 144 strikeouts on the year as well. Susceptible to that pitch down and away.
To right field, pretty deep, and that's getting into the Petco corner and off the glove and the wall. Goldschmidt to second, and here comes Pollock to score. It's 2-0. Goldschmidt has done that throughout his career. He can go to right field with power. So 3 consecutive hits for the D-backs with a quick 2-0 lead.
Oh, you see the power in the stroke. He lets this ball travel, and credit Goldschmidt going the other way with power and add carry all the way to the wall. Nice effort by Matt Kemp. Unfortunately for the Padres, Goldschmidt up with a double and an RBI.
David Peralta, another 300 hitter, steps up. He's batting .310. Arizona starts tonight 73-80, 1 game ahead of the Padres at 72-81. Battle for third place in the NL West. Here's Peralta, part of the Arizona outfield. As a group, the outfielders for the D-backs hitting .300. (16 homers as well for Peralta. And a nice swing, doesn't he, Mark?
Yeah, he does. Nice flat swing, good approach, lets the ball travel. As you can see, Casey Kelly trying to pound that strike zone inside. A lot of these big outfielders will try to get their hands extended.
It just misses inside, or outside rather. 3-1. Peralta, one of those stories, signed as a pitcher, didn't quite have the stuff, converted late in his baseball life to a hitter, and a good one he is.
A nice little cutter by Casey Kelly right there.
So look at the teams with 3 outfielders with 300 averages in a season. Arizona joining the 76 Reds, 74 Pirates, 74 Cardinals, and 69 Reds. So that is exclusive company.
Yeah, very impressive. When you start looking at the names on the list as Peralta walks on the 3-2 pitch.
So first and second with 1 out, and Wellington Castillo, the batter.
Not taking anything away from these Diamondback hitters as Darren Balsey, the pitching coach, goes out to chat with Casey Kelly, calm his nerves a little bit. But if you think about the Arizona Diamondbacks in the place that they hit, big outfield, as we see that, but a hitter's paradise because the ball travels, but also you see those big averages in spring training. Well, those big fields, and when it travels so far, it just raises your confidence level.
Look, you have to go back almost 40 years to find a team, Cincinnati, the Reds, with Griffey, Geronimo, and Foster, the outfield hitting 300. Then you got Starchel, Al Oliver, and Richie Zisk with Pittsburgh, Lou Brock, and which Smith is that? Bake McBride, and Reggie Smith, who was with the Cardinals, and then the 69 Reds with Pete Rose, Alex Johnson, and Bobby Tolan.
Wow.
Castillo has to back away from the breaking ball. Coming over from the Cubs, bringing his home run bat, 19 on the season. He's 28, Dominican Republic. Infield looking for a double play chance.
Well, Wellington Castillo has hit into 9 double plays on the year. But Casey's got to work down in the strike zone to get that ground ball.
Infield squared up, looking for 2. Center field, right at Jankowski. Might get a double play out of this. A throw to second base, not in time. In fact, Jankowski, someone should have been helping him out. was firing the ball toward the plate.
And you could see him and having to have that in your mind. But you also got to have the corner outfielder's got to have help. He's concentrating on making the play. And I don't think he grips this very well. And it's too late to get Paul Goldschmidt at second base after that.
So 2 outs, 2 on. Jake Lamb, the 7th batter to come up here in the first inning.
Those corner outfielders, you got to start sprinting towards that center fielder if you do see him getting off second base too much.
Ball 1 to Lamb, who is hitting .274. College product, Lamb, out of the University of Washington, 24. It's a young lineup for the Diamondbacks and a young pitching staff. Back to the mound, and Kelly, good athlete, can field his position, throws out Lamb, and the D-backs will settle for 2. Padres come up, Will Myers to lead it off. Tying at 2. Happy birthday to you. It's gone. Gary Norris, touch them all. Tied at 4 as Kemp comes through. And Marista has given the Padres another walk-off win. A couple of exciting games against the Giants to take that series. Back-to-back walk-offs. There are only 2 all season long, and then the Padres back-to-back against the Giants, winning their last at-bat. Here's the Padres lineup tonight. Brought to you by Toyota, Myers, then Spangenberg, Kemp and Upton. Jerko hits 5th. Norris, who had a home run and a pair of doubles last night, bats 6th. And Amarista, Casey Kelly, the pitcher, in the 8th spot, and then center fielder Travis Jankowski. Ruby De La Rosa, very tough on right-handed hitters, pretty liberal against lefties. And the first pitch swung on, a one-hopper to Lamb, and Myers is out.
Time now for the D-Box Scouting Report, brought to you by the UC San Diego Health. And for Ruby De La Rosa, making his 31st start of the year, it's stuff over command. He has electric fastball and also a slider and changeup to go along with that. But of late, he has been working down the strike zone and decreasing his velocity just a little bit.
Against left-handers this year, De La Rosa hit around .314. Right-handers batting only .211. And Spangenberg and Amarista, and Jankowski, the only lefties in the lineup for Pat Murphy tonight. He's 26, from the Dominican Republic, signed by the Dodgers in 2007. Came over from Boston a year ago for Wade Miley. Miley going to the Red Sox. There it is. The lefties beating him up, but boy, the right-hander's having trouble getting a base hit. 7th lowest in the National League against right-handed hitters. 2 balls and a strike. Andy Fletcher calling the balls and strikes tonight. And the Padres fell behind early to the Giants the last 2 games, came back to win 5-4. That's slicing into the corner and will go into the souvenir sectioner.
Let's take you back to last September and the first major league hit by Corey Spangenberg against these Diamondbacks. It scored 2 off the left-hander. That's a moment that Corey Spangenberg will never forget. But left on left, nice hitting by Corey Spangenberg.
This ball hit the center field and hit pretty well, but Pollock able to race back and make the play right at the edge of the track. Check the Diamondbacks defense, brought to you by Renovation Realty. You just saw Pollock chase down that long drive off the bat of Spangenberg. Peralta in left, INCIARTE in right. On the infield, around the horn, Lamb at third, Drury, the youngster, just called up at short. Gosselin and Goldschmidt guard the right side. Castillo behind the plate for De La Rosa. Matt Kemp, 1 RBI away from the century mark. He's had good success in his career against Arizona. .295 average with 30 home runs against the D-backs.
Well, former teammates going at each other right here. Ruby De La Rosa came up in the Los Angeles Dodgers organization and had Tommy John, then got traded to the Red Sox, and then got traded again to the Diamondbacks.
One ball, 2 strikes. It's interesting, the NL West teams, not one of them has a winning record on the road. The best record is Arizona. They're 38-40. Dodgers 135. The Padres and Giants 35. Colorado 30 games on the road. 2-2 the count to Kemp.
Well, to your point, Dick, I think mentally, I think a lot of people and teams would like to have a 500 record or better on the road. And those are successful seasons because you know you're going to play better at home. But that's an interesting stat.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Kemp goes down. 1 strikeout now for De La Rosa, who retires the side in order, protecting that early 2-0 lead.
Then, maybe week to week you start changing, getting a little bit heavier weight. So, some days you wake up and you don't want to go in. You're tired. You're kind of mentally over it. But those are the days you got to push through. And I work my butt off to get back. And I'm just glad to be back here.
So he pitched at the end of 2012, his 6 games with the Padres, then Tommy John, and then he misses all of 2013 and most of 2014, only 4 games. You talk about really having to bear down, and how tough it must be to go to that gym every day.
It's mentally draining, and it's taxing on your brain. You wonder if you can get through it, but also relying on.
Yeah, there's Brandon Drury clipped by that pitch riding inside.
But you're relying on the rehab specialist in the team that the San Diego Padres have are first class. They work their butts off, and they give the motivation. As we see Casey Kelly, this fastball riding in on that left hip area of Drury.
Took him right on the belt buckle. So Drury, the 23-year-old rookie, just called up, hit a homer yesterday at Dodger Stadium. Leads off. He's at first, hit by a pitch. Here's De La Rosa. 6 hits, 61 at bats. His job is to move his man over to second. That's his career average. Spangenberg camped shallow at third, in on the grass. Is that a fair ball? Yes, it is. And do they get the force? Yes. Amarista, a little ballet move that kept his toe on the bag, and they do get barely the force at second on Drury.
Aggressive play by Derek Norris and a better tag by Alexi Amarista. They were looking for the force out at second base. And watch how Derek Norris gets out of there quickly. It's a bad bunt by De La Rosa, but the tag by Alexi Amarista coming off the bag and applying that tag on the back of the neck.
He was off the bag, so he alertly flags down the tag and gets him on the back. It's a good call by Anthony Johnson, the umpire at second. There again, it's one of those slides where the front leg, the lead leg, is up, so it gives that infielder more time to make that tag on the back. So leadoff man, Ender Inciarte. I remember, back when I was first calling Major League Baseball with the Angels in the 70s, 60s, 70s. That when you tagged a man on the back, basically it was automatically safe.
Yes, you were. Also, if you beat the throw, typically you will be safe. If the throw beats you, you would be typically out.
Line drive, Inciarte just banks one to left field. The pitcher De La Rosa stops at second. Here come the D-backs with 2 base runners already up 2-0. Pretty tough assignment for Kelly, coming back to make his first major league start in 3 years, to have to deal with this lineup.
Well, you think about it, Dick, it's not necessarily results tonight. It's getting over that block, that mental block for Casey Kelly. Obviously, he would love to bear down and pitch well, but it's going to be moments that he picks out of this start. They're going to be very important for him moving forward.
Another line drive, left center, that's going to fall. Up with it is Upton. He'll get the ball in, and they'll hold the runner De La Rosa at third. The bases are loaded. Not hit hard off the end of the bat, but he drops in another hit. Gosselin's 2 for 2.
Well, as you said, Dick, off the end of the bat, you can see Gosselin places this nicely again in that left center gap. They're going to have to change their defense, especially with the swing by Gosselin tonight. Corey Spangenberg not in that area to cut that ball off.
So bases full of D-backs. The Snakes are rattling again here with a 2-0 lead, and Pollock comes up, knocked in a run with a single, later scored himself in the first inning. And Paul Goldschmidt on deck.
Saw Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, on the horn as the Padre bullpen starts moving around.
Pitcher De La Rosa with Inciardi at second, Gosselin at first.
Looks like Odrisamer Despaigne is getting loose in the Padre bullpen.
There's a cutter, but it's 2-0 as it moves outside. Odrisamer loosening up. You don't have to be a Padre fan to root for Casey Kelly. Here's a kid that's gone through So much work to get back on the mound. There's a chopper to third, foul. You know, De La Rosa moving around on the bases. You almost have to think, is that really the pitcher?
Yeah.
He can scamper.
Yeah, he's an athletic guy himself. But back to Casey Kelly, and just getting over this situation mentally is very important tonight. I really think he's going to factor into next year, and you think about what has to happen. He's not at full strength. Not many guys here at this point in the season are at full strength. But for Casey Kelly, going through what he has gone through in AA this year mostly, in AAA a little bit, and now the big leagues, this is just it's a building block.
So you see him in the rotation possibly next year.
Well, you know, and I don't think it's probably going to be the beginning of the year. I think it's when he gets to full strength, he starts working on his craft. And we look at the Red Sox Padre trade with Adrian Gonzalez going to the Red Sox, Anthony Rizzo, Casey Kelly, and Raymond Fuentes.
Now, if you take Rizzo, cross him off, and put Cashner there, so Cashner in that trade with the Cubs becomes the other player acquired in the Gonzalez deal. That ball is drilled to deep left center field by Pollock, and that one is a grand slam home run. And on one swing, the D-backs get 4 more, and they've jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Pollock's 19th homer of the season, and he has a 5 RBI night going, or 4 rather, scoring a couple of runs.
Well, this is a backbreaker. Looked like a changeup out of the hands of Casey Kelly, and Pollock sits back. You see that leg kick, puts his front foot down. The sound off the bat continues his hot year for the Diamondbacks.
And here's Goldschmidt, no mercy. He doubled in a run his first time. Still only 1 out here in the second. Fly ball shallow right. Kemp comes in. That's the second out. David Peralta is next. He walked first time. A.J. Pollock, what a season for him. 2 for 2 tonight. Scored 2, knocked in 5. Didn't mean to shortchange him. He knocked in a run with that single in the first inning. And it was no cheapie for Pollock. 427 feet. Peralta backs away.
Well, it's a talented young man they have in the Diamondbacks to go along with Paul Goldschmidt.
Pollock in 2 innings, 2 at bats, has a career high in RBIs, 5. He's really developed into an outstanding player.
I think a lot of it for A.J. Pollock is staying healthy. Last couple of years, he's gone through some injuries that have kept him off the field, and that consistency factor comes into play.
Yeah, he played in only 75 games last year. AJ's birth certificate reads Alan Lorenz Pollock. I'm guessing that that's his father's name as well. AJ, the junior, being for the initial J. Full count. Peralta. Strike 3 called. Peralta caught looking. Casey out of the second, but taken apart. A hit batsman, a couple of singles, and A.J. Pollock with a blast to deep left center. The Grandmaster. It is 6-0.
To tweet your strongest fan photo, use hashtag SDDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
So the Padres with work to be done, trailing 6-0 here early. Bottom of the second. Upton, Jerko, and Norris to face Ruby De La Rosa. De La Rosa's had a solid season, 13 wins, despite a 4.60 ERA, and he's staked to a handsome half-dozen lead. And the first pitch strike at 92.
Well, Dick, the one thing you have to do if you're the Padre hitters is not be passive in this situation. Yes, you're behind 6-0, but you still have to stick to your plan, have to be aggressive with certain pitches, because De La Rosa is going to rear back and throw fastballs when he doesn't have to. Really, with that lead, you can throw anything that you want if you're De La Rosa. But for the Padres, just taking that aggressive approach, looking for something specific, and get yourself back in the ballgame.
There's a slider on the outside corner, 1-2. Looks bigger than his height and weight listed. He's 6'1" and 225. Only 26. All the starters in the rotation for Arizona are under 30. And the only other team in the major leagues that can say that are the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, as we take a look at the pitching arsenal for Ruby De La Rosa, fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball, you can eliminate the curveball, that 1%. But the velocity, this is a young man that came into the big leagues throwing triple digits. And he's backed off on the velocity just a little bit for command. It's a typical progression if you're a starter.
But even at that, he's averaging over 94 miles an hour. 94.2 to be exact.
I think when you see young pitchers mature in the game and they back off on the velocity, but their stuff gets better, it's because of movement, location.
Fly ball shallow and right. A long run for INCIARTE, and he gets there for the catch. 4 in a row for De La Rosa.
Keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality on MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. College students enjoy a back-to-school offer with 35% off discount. Authentication required. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV today.
Jed Jerko with 1 out. 249 average and 16 homers. We just mentioned the college students last night. We had thousands of them here, and it was really a terrific crowd to finish that San Francisco series. Over 31,000, a lot of young faces. They had a good time, brought their voices. We got to do more for the college kid, don't you think? Get this college atmosphere. You get it at San Francisco. Up in Toronto, it's a very young crowd.
There's nothing better than, as a player, playing in front of a crowd that has energy. And you saw that last night, but also seeing James Shields having that conversation with Casey Kelly in the dugout. This is what I love to see. And if you don't think this is important, watching the game and understanding moving forward mentally how you get over these stumbling blocks, because James Shields been exactly where Casey Kelly has been.
Yeah, that's nice to see. The veteran Shields doing a little mentoring there, tutoring, and letting Kelly know, hey, we've all been there. Keep it up, kid. Don't get down on yourself. You can imagine what he's saying.
Well, we talked about Trevor Hoffman last night and being a great teammate. Well, that's exactly what I mean right there.
Strike D called as Jerko looks at one on the outside corner and barks at umpire Fletcher on his way to the dugout. Second strikeout for De La Rosa. Derek Norris comes up, and what a night last night. A 3-run homer and 2 doubles.
Dick, a hanging slider, but what Derek Norris does is goes the opposite way. Lets this ball travel. Watch on the right side. He gets that foot down, but he tracks the baseball deep in his stance, the great balance of the swing, and that is his first opposite field home run in the major leagues, and it was a beautiful swing.
I mean, I know he's a pull hitter, but isn't that surprising to you? Let's see. He's got 16 this year, and last 3 years with Oakland, a total of 26. So 42 home runs and only one to right field.
Yeah, and what was great about that is he followed it up with 2 doubles, one to right and the other one pulled. But he set himself up for success last night with that opposite field home run.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And you think about what the Padres did last night, battling against Madison Bumgarner. 120 pitches, 80 for strikes, and he was on his game, but went 7 innings and then won the game against the bullpen.
Yeah, denying Bumgarner a win. He left the game ahead 4-3. Padres getting a run in the 8th off the Giants relievers and then winning it in the 9th. Broken bat into left center field. Long run Pollock. He'll have to play it on a hop. And the Padres have their first hit. A broken bat single for Norris.
Well, this ball gets in on him into the phantom cam. Tells the whole story. You see it in on the label. And he breaks this bat, but it sits nicely in front of A.J. Pollock. Hear the sound.
Padres first base runner. And here's Amarista. Had the game winner last night. Inserted into the starting lineup tonight. The infield in. First and third, Amarista as the pinch hitter drives one deep to left center field. Plenty deep. Even if an outfielder had caught it, it easily would have scored the run. Way out there. Jankowski trots home, and the Padres celebrate.
Well, good for Alexi. 1-0 count, and to say offensively it's been a struggle for Alexi Amarista is probably an understatement, but having those moments and also celebrating with your team because he has continued to work hard at his craft. No one's going to feel sorry for you. We're at the big league level, and Alexi Amarista capitalized on a big moment for the Padres.
Off speed, drops in there. 1-2. Casey Kelly due next. Espana soft tossing out there just in case if Amarista gets on. Murphy might be tempted to use a pinch hitter. Good cut. 96 on the heater.
Yeah, high fastball, and Alexi Amarista almost getting on top of that ball.
First of 3 for the weekend with Arizona. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, the Milwaukee Brewers will close out the home season. Who knew the Brewers would close it out?
Yeah. It's a glitch in the schedule.
Now, I could understand in April Milwaukee coming out here instead of playing at home.
Yes, that's probably a good thing to probably have, and I'd like to see them be creative in the schedule making, especially early April.
I'm looking forward to a time when we go back to Wrigley Field when there's ivy on the wall. It seems like we always go back in April when it's windy and cold, and it's a different ballpark. Outside, Amarista works the count full.
It's almost strange going back to Wrigley Field and not having the ivy on there. It doesn't have that feel.
Part of the charm. And invariably in April, that wind is coming straight in off Lake Michigan.
Great time to hit.
Oh, man. It's a great time to try to broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
Vocal cords, you got to have a heating pad on them. Runner goes. Fouled away. Now let's pause here for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Most walk-off wins since 2004. That's the first year of Petco. How about the Padres? They've had the exciting climax of that winning run in the bottom of the ninth, 99. times.
Those magical moments. With the good seasons, you'll typically have those early in the year.
High fly ball center. Pollock coasts back. And the Padres gone in the second. The D-backs lead by a half dozen.
Go back to the first inning of last night's game. A ball hit to Melvin Upton Jr. Angel Pagan, the Giants runner on second base, pauses at the right time for the Padres. Melvin Upton Jr. throws a nice, accurate throw to Will Myers. Will Myers surveys the land and throws a strike to Derek Norris, getting Angel Pagan just barely at the plate, implying a nice tag. In a one-run ball game, and you think about the difference makers, right there will do it for you. Will Myers, a nice throw up the line to Derek Norris.
Yeah, that first inning, Pagan had doubled and Duffy singled. There was a stolen base, and they didn't score a run. That was big as the Padres rally from 4-3 down with a run in the 8th and another in the 9th. Wellington Castillo, then Jake Lamb and Brandon Drury in the 3rd inning for Arizona. Castillo lined to center his first time. Breaking ball hits the inside corner for Casey Kelly.
You know, so many times, Dick, you pull back and you think about the times that you were a teammate. And for Casey Kelly right now, just being there for him and knowing what he's going through mentally. You saw James Shields having conversations with him. This is a huge inning for him to just have that positive feeling taking in this start and knowing it didn't go well at the beginning. These are some of the moments that you have to take away from this start.
Top of the order doing all the damage to Kelly. The first 4 men in the order have the 6-run, 6 hits. One big hop to Spangenberg and one away. Yeah, it would be healthy for Kelly to have a nice 1-2-3 inning here.
Well, good start to the inning and a ground ball to Corey Spangenberg. But yes, that's exactly what he wants to do. And maybe those encouraging words from James Shields did have an impact when he went back on the mound.
Jake Lamb hit by actually tapped out to the mound his first time, with Drury to follow. There's some good action on that fastball. Father Pat in the audience, 13 years a catcher in professional baseball.
Well, a lot of family bloodlines in the game of baseball. And that's part of the reason why I like Casey Kelly moving forward. He's been around the game his whole life.
There's a cutter inside, 2-1. Well, the D-backs have certainly improved on last year's record. They won only 64 a season ago. They've got 9 more wins than that as we enter play tonight. Moving forward are the D-backs. Ground ball by Kelly, but there's Amarista to back it up and throw out Lamb. Two away to Brandon Drury. Hit by a pitch his first time.
Well, Dick, as we saw, the conversation that James Shields had, and I don't want to minimize that, but I've had an opportunity, and my whole career I had to be basically coming off the bench and pinch hitting. But those conversations I had, and I'll never forget it, Ozzie Smith in St. Louis was not the starting shortstop. And one night he spent 7 innings talking to me about the game, everything, off the field, on the field, how you're going to be as a professional. And I remember calling my parents and saying, I just learned the game tonight. So the impact of those conversations can go a long way, especially for James Shields and Casey Kelly.
Well, that's what a good teammate is, huh? And Ozzie, the veteran, even though he probably didn't like the fact that he wasn't in the game.
He didn't, and that was the unselfish part that you realized that he took the time to teach me the game.
A ball, 2 strikes to Drury.
And that's one of many conversations that I had. I was very fortunate about this game, and a lot of my commentary comes from my teammates that I've had and all of the stuff that you've learned. But for James Shields to have that conversation and take that moment, I commend him for that.
And there's a residual benefit also to that conversation with Kelly. The other players in the dugout see what Shields is doing and say, you know what, as a veteran, I can do that for my teammate as well.
You have to structure that. A lot of conversations happen in the locker room onto the dugout, but that transforms onto the field as well.
Right field, here comes Kemp, and he makes the catch. And there is the 1-2-3 third inning for Casey Kelly. Good on him. But 6-0 Arizona. Homer by A.J. Pollock in the second for their 6-0 lead. Casey Kelly will hit for himself to lead off the bottom of the third inning, and Jankowski and Myers to follow. Kelly, not a bad hitter. He was a shortstop in high school and an outstanding quarterback recruited by the University of Tennessee. He can swing the bat. Well, there it is at 200 in the minors. That's in the career, his entire career. Takes it outside. Well hit, but wide of the bag at third.
Nice swing by Casey Kelly.
A cutter in there, 1 and 2, or a slider rather, 1 and 2. In the minors, a 227 hitter. The other 200 was as a major league hitter, and 5 home runs, mind you. And that ball sharply hit the Lamb at third. Long throw in time. Brings up number 9 hitter Travis Jankowski. Jankowski at 219 has 14 hits in 64 trips since being recalled. Takes his time and lets Kelly get into that dugout. .94 strike. Mark Sweeney, you brought up the relationship with Ozzie Smith and the shields to Kelly, and the value of a veteran player that is there to help his teammates and not just himself. That'll be easy for Goldschmidt, and there's 2 away. That the manager and the coaches can't do it all, and when you have 1 or maybe 2 or 3 veteran players who can go in that clubhouse and not only teach but chastise as well. Say, hey, grab a guy by a jersey and say, you can't play like that.
There's a happy balance that you have to have, and I know Pat Murphy and the rest of the coaching staff knows it's a trickle-down effect. And if you get a leader that is a player, and most likely an everyday player, because I say this, it's very important. I always go back to the success I had in the big league level. And in 1998, we had a lot of leaders in that locker room.
Who were they?
Greg Vaughn, Tony Gwynn stepped up, but also Wally Joyner, Ken Caminetti, and there were also Kevin Brown from the pitching staff. We all policed ourselves, and we had a huge amount of fun, but we knew for 3 hours or 3+ hours every night we were going to battle.
That's good stuff.
But after the game and celebrating your wins and understanding it can be a snowball effect, but the leaders in that clubhouse really lead the charge, and it's so important.
Then a manager is all the better. I mean, he can be really terrific, then doesn't have to do it all himself. Will Myers grounded to third on the first pitch he saw. 1 and 2 now against La Rosa. Only 1 hit for the Padres. Derek Norris bloop single, broken bat single. Well, that could have been called a strike by Fletcher. 2 and 2. I really found that interesting today in talking with the Major League Baseball representatives in New York about how the umpires are graded. And I'll repeat it. We used it in the pregame show that when Fletcher, the plate umpire, goes to the umpire's room after the game, there will already be a scorecard there telling him how he did tonight.
Yeah, I like that.
Immediate. Like a teacher saying you got an A on the test or you got a B. You don't right away. You hope you don't get a C or D. Full count to Myers. Somebody somewhere, all under the aegis of Joe Torre, who is in charge of the umpires, Hall of Famer, is scoring Fletcher's every ball or strike call. And well outside, Myers earns the first walk-off De La Rosa. So these are just some things that I feel strongly about because I'm not happy with the way the replay review is going. 15 seconds. An umpire at third base has a stopwatch. As soon as the play is called, and you give a little 1,000, 1,002, hit the stopwatch, and it clicks away. And if the manager hasn't asked for a review in 15 seconds, sorry. We're going to go on and play the game. We're not going to let you call all around the town to see whether or not he was out or safe.
I love that because it should be instantaneous because the pace of play is very important. It's the initiative of baseball. in trying to implement that with guys in the batter's box, but having 15 seconds to make that decision is very important.
Now, you may not get every call right, but in the past before, and it's partially our fault. I mean, television, because we can slow everything down to one frame, and did the spike almost hit the bag? Well, the umpire can't see what we can see when we slow the whole game down. And I think that players and managers, because the system is in, have abused it. That frivolous. I mean, I think about Adrian Gonzalez up there, and he thought it might have hit his trouser leg, so we have to go all the way in to have a review and go to New York. Did it? And then he hits a line drive single to right field anyway. Meanwhile, the pitcher's out there, you're icing him.
Yeah.
Don't get me started now.
No, I listen, I like it. And Major League Baseball, just so everyone knows, Major League Baseball knows the process has to be tinkered with and has to be fixed. And they've said that from day one.
And they will.
And they're going to do that. But, you know, just the things that you see on a nightly basis. The pace of play really is a worry, because you have to have the baseball fan, and there's no clock in baseball, and I think that's the beauty of it. But the pace of play does have to pick up.
Jankowski flying deep to center his first time. And it's inexcusable in my mind that baseball, unlike football and other sports, doesn't bring the crowd into the call. Yes. So that you announce why you have overturned the play or why the play stands, and not just point to second base and you're out. Let the fans know what's going on. Why don't we have a microphone?
Because they do. They need to be in the know of why they overturned that call or why they didn't overturn the call.
I mean, that third base umpire, he's got the least to do in a game. There's not that many calls over there. He could have the stopwatch, and he could have a little portable microphone. He goes over as they go to New York when it's all done. Mr. Crew Chief, Jerry Meals tonight, you know, announce why we've made the call on the review. Thank you. Ground ball to second. And the Padres are gone as Gosselin tosses to Goldschmidt. It's still 6-0.
Everyone. Jan Hervis-Solarte, who is taken out for precautionary reasons. He has a tight right hamstring, has been having some nagging soreness there, so they're going to keep him out, but he will be available to pinch hit tonight. And then another quick note, Bud Norris, who was taken out of last night's game due to a right groin strain, is also going to stay out due to precautionary reasons. But Bud Norris is looking to be able to come back rather soon. They said they just have the expansion of the roster, so they're going to play it very safe right now.
All right, Ellie, thanks for that report. And both men should be available before this homestand is through. Solarte is eager to get back in the lineup. They almost had to tie him up in his locker last night. He wanted to play. He said, no, let's not aggravate that hamstring, make it worse.
I know why his hamstring's been nagging, because he's been hitting.
He's been running a lot, hasn't he?
He has. He's been running the bases and putting in passion, and that guy right there has missed. But he's given some energy to this Padres lineup.
Pitcher De La Rosa safe when he failed to sacrifice and eventually came around to score one of the 4 runs on the Pollock grand slam. Interesting to be a fly on the wall in General Manager A.J. Preller's office during the offseason and just see the moves that he is planning. It's already underway. There's a master plan. And are they going to stay basically with this team, try to add 1 or 2? Chop to short. Amarista across. And De La Rosa's gone. Or will they try to reconstruct the team around youth and speed? I mean, there's a lot of choices here.
Well, you know, A.J. Preller and his staff are definitely dotting the I's and crossing the T's and evaluating and knowing that process of sending out scouts to watch different players, gaining information and coming up with a plan. And I guarantee they have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down moving into this offseason.
The other issue is free agency. They're going to go after a free agent, bring him in. How about the players they're going to lose in free agency? I mean, Upton figures not to be here. Kennedy may not be here. Inciarte, the leadoff man, grounded to short, singled and scored.
Well, it's been a trying year all around for the San Diego Padres because there was an expectation level to start the year. And I think that's a good thing.
Yes.
This was really the first time that around town everyone was so excited for this club. And listen, that's the difficult thing. It's not on paper. There's a lot of things that can come into it and factor into all the things that you go through as a club.
A ball to strike to Inciarte. Well, this is my 6th year. The first 5, it's like almost every major league fan, and I am one. You hope that next year is the year. You hope for it. This year was an exception. This year you thought they're going to be this is a playoff team.
Yes.
So it's all the more painful and perplexing for fans, for management, that the team didn't do better. You know, I mean, all the whys. Why is this team 9 games under 500?
Well, Dick, I'll tell you why and what I think, and this is my opinion on it. It is very difficult. We talked about the chemistry earlier with the conversations James Shields had with Casey Kelly. That's the little issue there, but developing that chemistry takes a long time. You can't snap your fingers.
Fly ball to left, Upton there. And Inciarte is gone. 2 away here in the 4th, so that's 7 in a row retired by Kelly.
But to continue that thought, you can't snap your fingers and say this is going to work. And everyone has to fit into the puzzle because you have talent. You've acquired talent. It takes a long time. And I think if you look around baseball, and the Kansas City Royals stick out in my mind, a lot of young talent that they've developed and drafted, but also they've added some pieces, some veteran pieces that has a good meshing system with it. And now they're starting to see the guys develop that are younger talent, but also those veteran presence that you need. Austin Hedges coming up to the big leagues and having examples in front of him, very important. But to have a good balance, I think, is important as well.
This is Phil Gosselin. He has doubled and singled and scored twice tonight. Former University of Virginia Cavalier. He's 26. No question that part of the story of this 2015 season is the injury to Will Myers.
Yes.
With Myers in the lineup early, it was a totally different team. And speaking of Myers, the ball finds him there and the inning's over. And how about Kelly? After the grand slam, he's retired 8 in a row. By Saquon Casino. Play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by Sony's Action Cam. Prove yourself. Watch this landing, folks. This is about as good as it gets. Just skid right in there. No wobbles, no jumping. And man, that was smooth. There are about 5 O's in that landing.
What do you think of my landing? You liked my landing?
Yeah, you too?
It was tough to get a suit and tie on that quickly and get ready for the Open.
It's amazing what one will do just to entertain the crowd. Padres need 6 to tie, and Matt Kemp starts things in the 4th against Ruby De La Rosa. Yeah, struck out his first time. And then it'll be Upton and Jerko. Looking for that 100th RBI, Matt Kemp. His 99th last night tied the game against the Giants in the 8th. Right on the outside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, for Ruby De La Rosa, I think he's going to show Matt Kemp in and then try to expose him for that tight slider that he's been throwing on that glove side.
Ground ball into left field for a base hit. Well, leadoff man is on. That's a start. Justin Upton comes up.
Well, how about on our Phantom Cam? You can see that swing. And that's elevated pitch. A 1-2 count, and Matt Kemp gets an elevated breaking ball and puts it into the Tony Gwynn hole. 5.5.
As Upton digs a little toe hold, we welcome Clay Hensley down by the Padre dugout.
How you guys doing?
You're doing great. Is it warm enough for you down there?
Yeah. You really can't tell on TV right now, but my suit is entirely wet right now.
That's a great visual.
We'll get you into the conversation about clubhouse leadership, Clay, but first here's Upton. And he pops it up. Foul territory. Goldschmidt got room. One away. How about as a player? Now, you were with different organizations. Any leaders come to mind?
Yeah, I can think of a few. Actually, some of the ones that I come to mind at first, or when I got called up to the big leagues in 2005 here with San Diego, we had some good leaders in the clubhouse. And what you guys were talking about earlier about having that veteran leadership, also making with the organization making quality drafts, and to teach those young guys how to play the game and do it the right way, it's really important. They talk about some of the pieces that the Padres brought in this offseason, and they should be performing a lot better. But I think Mark touched on it perfectly. That takes time.
Here's Jerko.
Well, Clay, we talked about it last night with Trevor Hoffman and the type of leader he was. Obviously, his talents spoke volumes, but how he was as a leader in the clubhouse and on the field.
Well, I tell you what, one thing I always appreciated about Trevor Hoffman was the fact that he was willing to teach the younger guys anything they were willing to learn. The one thing I liked about Trevor is that he didn't demand the respect with his mouth.
There goes the runner. And the throw is into center field. So bouncing to his feet is Kemp. And on to third he advances. Padres have a man at third with one out as Castillo's throw to second sails wide.
Well, this looked like a pretty good throw by Castillo. And you see Gosselin, the second baseman, with that slide of Matt Kemp. He pulls back and does not make the catch. It would have been an out if he does catch the baseball.
And Castillo charged with the air. That's bad luck for the receiver. So the Padres a chance to get a run back on an out. A ball, a strike to Jerko. That's Kemp's 12th steal of the year. Ground ball to short. That'll get him home. Plays across, and Jerko is out. Run scores. Jerko an RBI at 6-1.
Well, smart hitting by Jed Jerko. RBI situation with that lead the Diamondbacks have as we first take the swing of the Phantom Cam. This ball is off the end of the bat just a little bit. You see the vibration on the Phantom Cam, which I love to see. But RBI situations with the Diamondbacks lead, they play back. He used the middle of the field for an RBI, knocking in Matt Kemp.
So with 2 outs, here's Derek Norris. Norris, broken bat single to left center, his first time. Now, talking about leaders, both you, Mark Sweeney and Clay Hensley, who was the toughest guy? I mean, a leader sometimes by example, sometimes by words, but sometimes just physically so tough you didn't want to mess with him. You better listen.
I can tell you who my guy is right now, and he's sitting right next to you, Dick.
Oh, a little brotherly love here.
Yeah, I would have to be out on the field an hour before the game watching them. I mean, I was out here helping them rake the field, too. I mean,
don't you think an hour is a little excessive?
Okay, it is a little bit. Okay, maybe 10 minutes. But you know what? To finish that thought real quick about Trevor is that he didn't demand the respect with his mouth. He demanded it by his actions. And that's what I respected a lot from him, because you watch a guy like that, and even a guy like Mark Sweeney, these guys work their tail off. And so as a young guy coming up and seeing this, and these guys weren't going around the locker room being vocal and being demanding respect because they'd been there a long time. You just watch how they played the game, and these are the guys you wanted to be like.
High fly ball, shallow left. Peralta calls off the shortstop Drury. Padres settled for an unearned run in the fourth. It's 6-1 Arizona. A grand slam home run. This shot of 427 feet, making it a 6-0 game. 5 RBIs for Pollock, a career high. And it's time for our top tier player profile, brought to you by Arco. And this is the graphic on this season compared to any of those categories in other seasons. So every category, much improvement. What a breakout year.
Well, Dick, you see that. And talking to some scouts around the league that have watched A.J. Pollock, they are not surprised at this development, which really speaks volumes of how this young man has embraced it. And they believe he's a top 5 center fielder in the game. And you think about him being in Arizona and playing for the Diamondbacks and not getting the exposure. If you put him in a different uniform, who knows what he's thought of in the game already.
Named to the All-Star game in July, and that surprised some people who didn't really know much about him. But he was a #1 draft pick out of Notre Dame. It's not like he's just somebody picked 15th, 16th round and happens to make his way through. There were high expectations for him, and he's delivering this year. 2 hops to Amarista on the run, throws him out. That's 9 in a row now for Kelly.
Well, down next to the dugout with Clay Hensley and Casey Kelly coming into the start emotionally, and we know it's been over 3 years that he's had a start in the big leagues, and Giving up those 6 runs. What's the mentality after giving up those 6 runs for Casey Kelly?
You know, I think, Mark, a lot of it has to just do with a little bit of nerves. You know, I've dealt with this myself coming back from injury. And when you come back from injury and it's such a long road back, you've been out of the game, out of the big league level for a year and a half, and you come back to make that start, it almost feels like your debut.
Well, he's settled in since the Grand Slam, retiring 9 in a row. Here's Goldschmidt. Doubled in a run in the first, flied out to right the other time. Both balls hit by Goldschmidt to the opposite field.
Well, you think about it, in the second inning, Amarista made the last out in front of Casey Kelly. If they got to the pitcher's spot, I think he would have been taken out. And mentally trying to get over that of giving up 6 runs and not being able to go further in the game. Well, it's the little things that happen, and Casey Kelly has settled in. I think it's part of him trying to take some good things out of this start, and he has settled in nicely.
Well, and to touch on that too, Mark, this is also still part of the process. I mean, he's back at the big league level, but pitching at the big league level after an injury. I mean, this is essentially still rehabbing in the mental process.
I think that's hard for fans to understand. Both of you men have brought that up, the mental process, not physical. Line drive, but Kemp is there to his left to make the catch. 10 in a row. One would think, coming back from Tommy John, obviously a very serious injury, forcing that surgery, that eventually you get to the physical, get that part done, and then it's all mental.
Yeah, rehab, you want to say you're okay, and your brain says, I can't wait to get back. But there's a process and a protocol that you have to go through with your rehab specialist, the training staff, Todd Hutchinson, Paul Navarro. They do an outstanding job, but they have pieces behind them.
That roller is fair, right to the bag for Myers. And 11 straight for Kelly, so he will have a good taste when he leaves the game tonight. Now for our Mission Fed Community Spotlight. Mission Fed donated $1 million and provided tickets to tonight's game to representatives from Junior Achievement. Mission Fed donates around $1.5 million a year to our local charities. And we tip our Padre cap to Mission Fed. And to Casey Kelly, after being roughed up the first 2 innings, retiring the last 11 in a row, and probably going to be lifted for a pinch hitter in the inning. Amarista and then Kelly's spot. Rocky Gale is in the on-deck circle.
Well, you see the line right there. First 2 innings, not very good to start, but as you talked about, Dick, him finishing it off.
Popped up by Amarista, left side shortstop Drury. 1 away. Now that's exactly what you predicted, Mark Sweeney. It might be rough, the nerves and all to start, but the important thing is to come out of this with with something positive. Well, nothing wrong with retiring 11 in a row.
No, exactly right. And there's always adjustments in this game of baseball, but adjusting mentally of the challenges before you even throw a pitch tonight. And what was on his mind stepping onto that rubber for the first time at the big league level as a starter.
Rocky Gale looking for his first major league hit. One of the popular Padres in the minor league system. He's paid his dues, 27 years of age.
I think it's a perfect time for his first.
Oh, right at Goldschmidt. Get that a little farther to the foul line. He's got that base hit. 2 away. That'll bring up Travis Jankowski, and a reminder, tonight's game presented in HD by Sony.
Well, just finishing the story of Casey Kelly, 78 pitches on the night, 48 for strikes, and 14 breaking balls. I wanted to see that breaking ball tonight. Threw a lot of cutters. A successful return to a starter in my eyes.
Jankowski grounded to first, his only at bat so far.
Down to Clay, and Clay mentally getting over this and moving forward. What's his thought process?
Well, look, obviously he wouldn't have liked to start off the game and given up the runs that he did, but he finished strong, just like you guys said. And honestly, that's the big win for Casey Kelly tonight. He went out there, he was able to make some adjustments at the big league level, learning to pitch again, almost back at this level again. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to be here already, and it's tough to come back when you're coming back from an injury. I think he did a great job settling in. He's probably finding some rhythm, and I think it's a good momentum for his next start.
Next start should be next Thursday against Milwaukee. Line drive foul off the bat of Jankowski. Tomorrow night, another young Padre pitcher, Robbie Erlin, the left-hander, will get the start. Remember, that's a 5:40 game, 5 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Erlin opposed by Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson is 9-10 on the year.
You know it's going to be Star Wars night tomorrow night, right?
Well, I can't wait.
Chewbacca's coming.
There it is.
Is Luke Skywalker going to be?
I don't know how to do Luke Skywalker.
Give me your Darth Vader, though. You know what's funny about that is that's what it felt like when I was a rookie, and you were just making me do all this stuff, just breathing on my neck about everything.
Oh, too much information. Line drive, base hit. Jankowski into center field. Over to cut it off is Pollock. He's going to go for 2. Here comes a throw. Not in time. Boy, can he run.
Oh, I love seeing this.
That's a leg double for Jankowski.
Yeah, and with 2 outs, you want to take that opportunity. Show your wheels. I don't care if you're behind 5 runs. For Travis Jankowski, the key is to drill this into right center. You can see him looking at A.J. Pollock, putting him up and down in a nice turn and a head-first slide into second base, taking that opportunity with 2 outs.
It's about a 20-foot slide. Stay on the bag.
How about that lightsaber?
Pollock surprised when he looks in. How did Jankowski get there so fast? Well, the league's going to learn. He can really motor.
The force was with him, guys.
Yes, it was.
Will Myers grounded out and walked. Just chip away here, get another run. It's 6-1 Arizona.
Wellington Castillo is going out to talk to Ruby De La Rosa. You can slip into a trap when you have this lead, and he's getting probably an earful to get him back to be aggressive. That chemistry between the catcher and the pitcher.
Barmas there with Matt Kemp. Another veteran is very good at tutoring the younger players, Clint Barmas. Time now to check the Cholula flamethrower, Clay Hensley.
That is some hot sauce. I can't do it as good as Mark. I got to learn.
You've got to do the Darth Vader. You know,
Right.
How would Darth give that?
96. Luke, I am your hot sauce. That's terrible.
Oh.
Add it to the list.
2-0 to Myers. Trying to pick up Jankowski here in the bottom of the 5th. Ground ball right side, gets through, and here comes Jankowski. It's 6-2. Myers going the opposite way. It sounded like he might have fractured his bat as well, but he got it by the dive of Gosselin, and the Padres pull within 4.
Dick, sometimes you have to go back to the previous at bat, and Will Myers drawing that walk, seeing a lot of information, timing Ruby De La Rosa. In our Phantom Cam, you could see him letting this ball travel and hanging off the end of the bat, but they were in the pull defensive mode and the defensive shift. That's a nice piece of hitting by Will Myers.
Gosselin's dive comes up short. Might have got a piece of it. Jankowski scores easily. And it's a 6-2 game.
You think about what Jankowski did and getting on in that scoring position with 2 outs.
Spanshenberg get on board here and bring up the home run hitters, Kemp and Upton. Padres got a chance to dig out of that 6-0 hole.
Little things so many times win you ball games, and you got to scratch and claw with the adversity that the Padres have been in. And 6-2 ball game, now you start energizing yourself.
Foul back. 2 strikes on Spanshenberg. He has flied to center and grounded to second. Espana, he's pitched a ball game out there in the bullpen.
Well, with no 2 count, not a bad time for Will Myers to think about running, trying to get in a scoring position to continue to chip away.
That would have been a good pitch to try to steal. The changeup low.
How about the changeup at 88 miles an hour?
That might have been my best heater.
80th pitch coming up from the big right-hander. Just the 5th inning, and the Padres have rallied for a couple of single runs to make it 6-2. A little extra on that fastball. De La Rosa calling out Castillo. Friday and Saturday have been the best nights of the week for the Padres. They're 13-11 on Friday and on Saturday. Losing records the other 5 days of the week. They got some work to do. It's been a good night for them. Outside, 2-2. Changeup, make that 3-2. Spanshenberg trying to get on there for Matt Kemp. Myers will be off with a pitch. Line to left field, slicing away from Peralta, but he makes the catch on the run. He was shaded toward the line, able to take a base hit, a double away from Spanshenberg. inning. A.J. Pollock singles in the first run of the game. Paul Goldschmidt follows with a double to right field. And the D-backs against Casey Kelly had an early 2-0 lead. Second inning, bases loaded. A.J. Pollock up, and he crushes one to left center. 427 feet, a grand slam, and a 6-0 Arizona lead. Padres peck away. Will Myers in the last inning knocks in Jankowski, who had doubled, and it's a 6-2 game. De La Rosa 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Kelly 5 innings, 6 hits, but he did retire the last 11 in a row. Pollock having a big night, 5 RBIs. Matt Kemp 1 for 2 for the Padres. And here's our pitching change. Odrisamer Despaigne, brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
We see Despaigne last pitched last Saturday in Colorado, making his 16th appearance out of the bullpen.
He'll face Castillo, Lamb, and Drury in the top of the 6th. Diamondbacks catcher is fly to center and grounded to third tonight.
Well, down next to the dugout with Clay Hensley, and for Odrisamer Despaigne, you've been in this role coming out of the bullpen. What's your job here?
Well, look, this situation right here, Mark, is that, you see the Padres kind of starting to scratch back, having some good innings in the last inning. He's got to come in right now, pound the zone, not try to get too crazy with throwing too many off-speed pitches. If I was him coming in this situation, I'd just like to shut the door, get the guys back in the dugout to swing it.
Ground ball sharply to short. Amarista digs it out and flips it. And Myers just does get his foot on the bag as Castillo strolled up the line. Brings up Jake Lamb, who has grounded out twice. Well, some interesting action as we work toward the playoffs tonight. Toronto won. The Yankees lost in the American League East, so the Blue Jays now lead by 4. Kansas City and Minnesota lost in the American League Central. Cleveland won, and that's important only in the wild card. Kansas City's already clinched the title. With Minnesota losing and Cleveland winning, the Indians are now 76 and 76. They're only 4 games out of the wild card at the start tonight. I have to check on the Houston score.
Well, what a job Paul Molitor has done with the Minnesota Twins.
Houston is losing, so Cleveland could move within 3. Texas is ahead in the 9th, 6-2 at Houston. Which takes us to the American League wild card, our National University standings. The Yankees, if we finish play tonight, and Houston would be in the wild card. The Angels lurking 1.5 back, and Houston is losing, mind you. Minnesota only 2 back. It's all set in the National League, basically. It will be Pittsburgh and the Cubs in the wild card.
Well, how about the Houston Astros, though? What a great story all throughout the year, and they're playing their worst baseball at the toughest time.
Yeah. Young, inexperienced, pitching's falling apart.
And you think about the Milwaukee Brewers last year that started off so well and really fell off, and Ron Renicky losing his job this year. How so many things can change. And for the Houston Astros, though, the young talent that they have, and it goes back to that balance that we talked about before, having that young talent but also some veteran leadership.
How about the Mets? They won tonight. They're 20 games above 500.
Wow. I didn't see that happening.
And they're 8.5 ahead of Washington. The Nats lost again tonight. A 1-out walk to Lamb. Here's Drury. He's hit by a pitch and fly to right. And all the way to the screen, Despaigne, and on the wild pitch, Lamb moves into scoring position. Sounds like a couple of the young fans are in our broadcast booth. That's just the mic of Clay Hensley. Apparently he's near some young fans.
Yeah, they're definitely enjoying themselves down here. No, they're having a good time. You can tell they've probably had a little bit of candy for the game, but it's all right. That's what it's all about, right?
It's all about the sugar.
Right.
Just keep your mind on the game, kids. Those line drives come in there in a hurry, and Clay's not going to throw his body in front of it. I guarantee you that.
I think it might just be a reaction. I think I would. I'd just pick it, maybe throw it to second, roll up the double play.
Go over it back up third.
Get the bunt down if I needed to.
He can do anything in that wet suit of his, doesn't he?
I can do anything behind the mic, not on the field, right?
That's not exactly a safe position, as you know, Mark.
No, it is not. You don't feel like you're in a controllable situation.
Chop to the right side. Myers to Despagne for the out. Watch out, Despagne. Turn around, and he does indeed as Lamb rounds third and holds there. So 2 outs to the pitcher, De La Rosa, runner at third. Well, let's go around the majors today. Lots of big news again, as always. Curtis Granderson of the Mets helped them to hit that 20-game above 500 mark. First time since 2007 as they pound the Reds. Mark Melanson, 51 saves this year.
Wow.
Most in the big leagues. That's a big win for the Pirates over the Cubs. Jose Fernandez, 17th home win without a loss to start a career, a major league record. How about that final score, 12-11.
And there's Clay getting ready for that line drive down there.
See, you guys saw the reaction there. I tried to pick it, but the wall got in the way.
Well, how about that Jose Fernandez? And thinking about a young talent coming off Tommy John. And the game needs what he brings to it because he has a lot of energy and a boatload of talent.
17-0 to start his big league career at home.
You know, when you look at teams like Miami, interestingly enough, the team, they struggle kind of year in and year out. I played over there for 3 years, but they do find a way to draft those power arms and develop those power arms. I mean, you had it with Josh Johnson when he was there earlier in his career. Now you see it with Fernandez, Anibal Sanchez, guys like that played there. I mean, they've done a good job with the arms.
De La Rosa, 0-2, chops that one out and stays fair, and Despagne makes the play. And look at De La Rosa hustle up the line. That's it, the top of the 6th. Padres trail 6-2. Six runs in the first 2 innings. Padres chipping away, 2 runs and 4 hits. And time now for the Fan Diego fans of the game.
What a cutie. Padres fan and Cubs fan. A lot of proud Cubs fans around the game of baseball now.
Look at that senior gentleman there. He's got it all figured out as well. Hubba hubba. Shoot brought fire. Ham and eggs popping top.
Yeah.
Well, here's an event from the All-Star game. Pete Rose, of course, at Cincinnati, and yesterday we understand had a chat with the new commissioner, trying to talk his way back into favor and get to the Hall of Fame. There's a mixed emotion around baseball, whether he should be or shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting situation of how Rob Manfred has handled that situation, but I commend the commissioner for letting him and allowing him in the All-Star game, giving that opportunity for the Cincinnati fans to give his just due of playing in front of those fans. He is beloved in the city of Cincinnati. But that's a tough situation for the commissioner.
It is tough, and it's interesting no matter which way he goes. I mean, if he doesn't consent to change the penalty, then I think there'd be much more uproar than if he lets Pete in. I think the public opinion is against Pete Rose, but I may be wrong.
No, I agree with you.
Matt Kemp leads off the 6th. Shoots that one fair, backhanded by Lamb. Long throw gets him. Nice play. That was headed for left field.
Well, to Jake Lamb's right, and you see the reactions as the third baseman, and it's more side to side, but the long hop to Paul Goldschmidt, and on the back end, a nice pick. See this young Diamondback roster, and defensively very good, and we've already talked about their offense, but nice play by Lamb.
Yeah, they are young. Going down the lineup, INCIARTE 24, Goslin 26, Pollock 27, Goldschmidt is 28, Peralta 28, Castillo 28, Lamb 24, Drury 23. That's how young the starting lineup is. And again, all the starters for Arizona in the rotation are under 30.
And a first-year manager in Chip Hale.
So watch out. Justin Upton, the batter. A 1-1 the count. Upton now 0 for 12 facing De La Rosa this year. But in 15 games against the D-backs, 5 home runs. Just not able to figure out De La Rosa. And another potential out as Drury throws across. 0 for 13. Jed Jerko knocked in a run with a ground out the last time.
Well, Dick, you talked about the roster of the Diamondbacks, and one of their prize shortstop, Nick Ahmed, who is getting high praise in the game of baseball. You probably won't see this series, and this is a talented young man, especially defensively. Still figuring out offensively, but a lot of people are talking about this young man at short.
Well, back in spring training, Chip Hale was saying that's the best fielding defensive shortstop I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I have to agree with him, and makes those tough plays look very easy.
So how about Drury? They're saying he'll probably eventually be a third baseman.
Yeah, I think Drury's this third baseman, and with that injury to Ahmed, I think they're taxed in the middle of the diamond.
He's only 22.
He played a few games in AAA. Talked to the AAA manager, Phil Nevin, the former Padre, who managed the Reno Aces, the AAA farm system for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And said he asked Drury to play shortstop. He's got good mechanics at short, but a prototypical third baseman. But you have to have versatility in the National League.
You've got your ear to the wall. You've got some inside information here and there. And after working in the front office with the Dodgers and all, Phil Nevin's name comes up, and there's going to be a lot of managerial openings. Is he ready to be a big league manager?
There's Phil Nevin right there. I do believe he's going to be a big league manager, hopefully sooner than later. And I got to preface this. I'm a real good friend of Phil Nevin's, and I believe in him as a manager. He has a happy balance, a balance of baseball, but he has the passion to be one of those good managers. He always credits Bruce Bochy as the manager that he learned a lot from.
2-out walk to Jerko here in the 6th inning as the Padres need 4 to tie. The fans will remember Nevin didn't exactly bite his tongue. I mean, he was an outspoken Padre.
Well, listen, and you got to separate the two, and I agree with that, Dick. And I've had discussions with Phil Nevin. The passion got the best of him at times, but he knows the game of baseball, and he wants to be a manager. This isn't a guy that was successful as a big leaguer and just wants to get into that seat to stay in baseball. And he wants to make a difference at the manager level.
And he's hit all the rungs on the ladder. He started A and then moved to AA, AAA. So he's, making his way toward the goal of being a big league skipper. Norris has a single and a fly to left.
Well, you're going to hear his Phil Nevin's name in the conversations of these new manager openings. There's going to be a lot of openings heading into this offseason. And he is going to be one of those hot names that you think of when it comes down to an opportunity. He did apply for the Diamondbacks job when they went with Chip Hale, but I heard also that his interview was off the charts, prepared, understanding situations. And I've never been in an interview process, but you are scoured when it comes down to that. And talking to Phil, he's very comfortable in going into that situation. You think about what he has to do now. Now he thinks about those openings. He has to scour those organizations that have opportunities and know about those players.
First action in the Daybacks bullpen. Randall Delgado came over in the same trade as Drury. Deal with Atlanta. Way outside. Would you ever want to manage?
You know what, family reasons, I say no. I love the game of baseball, and I'm going to stay in it as long as I can. I'm afforded to do this job, which I love. I love being next to you. I love working with the guys. But the game of baseball gave me a lot, and I want to find out a way of giving something back. And I think that's very important.
So you're leaving that door open?
I will.
Another scoop here, huh?
But if you think
Send
about
that to Mike Pomerantz. Hey, Mike, we got a scoop here.
You think about the opportunities that game of baseball brings you, being at this level and going through it. And you made a good point, too. Phil Nevin went from the bottom in the minor leagues and worked his way up to the AAA level to get this opportunity. And I commend him for that, because that's the process. And you're not seeing that around baseball a lot. There's some managers that haven't had managerial experience that are getting these opportunities and these jobs.
Well, Brad Ausmus was one of those.
Exactly.
We all wish that Brad would have a very great career with the Tigers, and he had a good season a year ago. And now there are rumors that the Tigers aren't going to bring him back.
Mike Matheny, see Pat Murphy. He's never been in the big leagues. He's getting an opportunity in the big leagues.
3-1 now to Norris after Jerko walked. Foul back.
Mark, also to echo what you were talking about, Phil, I had the opportunity to play with him as well, and I agree with you 110%. I mean, the fact that he's gone from all the way down to lower levels and all the way back up to the big leagues, and that's his ultimate goal to get there, I mean, that just kind of shows you what kind of guy this is. This is a guy who played a long time in the big leagues, and did pretty well. And to the fact that, some guys wouldn't do that. They wouldn't go back and have to go through that whole process. Some of them would have expectations probably of maybe just going ahead straight to the big leagues. So I agree with you on that, Mark. I commend Phil, and, I really hope it works out for him.
Yeah, that's a good point, Clay.
Full count now. Runner goes. All four. So the Padres get a couple of two-out walks from De La Rosa. They're one swing away from putting themselves right back in the ball game. Meanwhile, let's check on Geico's This Day in Padres history. On this date, 1987, Benito Santiago, the Padres catcher, sets a major league record for rookies, hitting safely in his 27th consecutive game. Santiago inducted into the Padres Hall of Fame this year. Break in the action. That's it for De La Rosa. He leaves with a 6-2 lead, but the Padres have 2 men aboard as Delgado jogs in. Couple of men aboard, and the Padres trailing by 4. Amarista will be the hitter. Delgado was part of that big trade between Arizona and Atlanta before the 2013 season, with Justin Upton and Chris Johnson going to the Braves. And Arizona got Nick Ahmed, the shortstop we've been talking about. Brandon Drury, who's playing short tonight. Randall Delgado now on the mound. The main player in the trade coming to Arizona was Martin Prado, but he had a good year and then has moved on.
Well, for Delgado, it's a fastball, changeup, slider, and curveball. Mostly a fastball, changeup to the left-handers.
Amarista trying to keep it alive here in the 6th. A couple of free tickets giving the Padres a chance to cut into that 6-2 lead. Strike one to Amarista, who has flied out and popped up. Delgado, part-time starter, long reliever. Ahead on the count, 2 strikes. Colorado defeated the Dodgers tonight at Coors Field 7-4. Texas beat Houston 6-2.
Wow.
So the Rangers now with a 4.5 game lead over the Astros.
Well, they swept the Astros on a 4-game set at Texas, and now they go to Houston and win that first game.
Texas and Toronto and Kansas City, the division leaders, and Kansas City's locked in their title. Toronto moves another game ahead of the Yankees as they win. The Yankees lose tonight. Way outside and high, 2-2. Pitcher spot due next, and Alex Dickerson, left-handed batter, good powers on deck.
Well, Delgado doesn't want to get beat inside here. For Amarista, even with 2 strikes, you can look away and try to battle that pitch that comes in. It's just a single will work in this situation.
Drove in the walk-off win with a single last night against the Giants, and now timeout, and catcher Castillo and Delgado will try to get together. Delgado, another of the young Arizona Diamondbacks. He's only 25, from Panama. 3rd year with Arizona after a couple of seasons. Came up to Atlanta as a 20-year-old. And last year with the Snakes was 4-4.
His pitching coach Mike Harkey. I saw Delgado early in his career. Thought he was going to be a starter in the big leagues, and really made his mark in the bullpen.
There's a shot up the middle and through into right center field. 1-1 will score. Juco in, and on to third goes Norris at 6-3, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Amarista delivers.
Well, with those back-to-back walks, sets up Amarista for some nice piece of hitting. Scoring Jed Jerko, but you think about 2-strike hitting on our phantom cam. He shoots this right by the second baseman. You watch this play and think about the talent level. INCIARTE going to his right and sliding and make an accurate throw to keep Amarista to only a single.
And keep another run from scoring, as Norris has to hold up at third. So 6-3, 2-on for Alex Dickerson. Kid from Poway, Indiana University. Big Ten Player of the Year with the Hoosiers. Not a good start, is getting one of those orbs looked at. Maybe a lens. He's got 2 hits in his 8 at bats as a big leaguer.
Well, had his first major league hit here at home, and then got sent down back to AAA.
Is he coming out? We'll have to see whether he was introduced into the game. I think he was. So that you lose a player there. It's something wrong with that right eye or right lens.
Well, you see
Maybe
the
not.
solution going in by Todd Hutchinson, so it probably is a contact situation.
Brett Wallace now is in the on-deck circle. We'll see whether or not Murphy's going to have to use two players here, and I guess that's the case. So Dickerson unable to come to the plate, so it's up to Wallace, who's been the pinch hitter supreme. Most pinch hits, RBI pinch hits in the majors this year with a dozen, and 4 of those are home runs. Represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 6th. And Mike Harkey goes to the mound.
Listen, I see a lot of firsts in this game, but I don't think I've ever seen that. A left-hander getting announced, and then the contact problem, and then you pinch hit another left-hander.
That takes an extra bat out of the quiver of Pat Murphy.
Well, listen, maybe it was a scare tactic, and you're getting them set up for Brett Wallace.
Yeah, maybe you got the right man in the right spot here. First and third, 2 outs and a run home at 6-3 Arizona. Change up to start Wallace.
Yeah, a lot of ways to attack Brett Wallace, and recently they've been throwing him backwards, which means throwing that off speed early and then attacking him with the fastball late.
Outside, fastball. 42nd pinch hit appearance for Wallace. 15 hits and 12 runs batted in.
He's made himself into a huge weapon for Pat Murphy in the Padres.
Played for Murphy at Arizona State.
Really, when you go back to it and deciding on where Brett Wallace was going to sign this year, it had to factor in that Pat Murphy was his coach before. You always want to go to an organization that has your back, so to say, when you're an extra guy. And for Brett Wallace, he capitalized on that.
Swing and a miss on a fastball, 1-2. Well, out of spring training, then he was sent down to El Paso knowing that Murphy was the manager there.
When he knew he was going to get playing time, and you see the last pitch by Delgado, looked like Wallace was sitting on that changeup, kind of in between swing for me. That's because of that first pitch changeup.
A ball, 2 strikes. Runners at the corners for San Diego. Change up there. You see how that ball flies off his bat. Keith Hessler, young left-hander in the pen. Hispanic Heritage Night. Fans want to shout in chorus, "Ole." But it's 0-0 as Downey goes swinging. Padres do get a run back on 1 hit and a couple of walks, and after 6, it's 6-3.
But first, an all-new Padres POV. Find out about the game Pick the Stick on Padres Live and how the talent really feels about it.
Mark Grant has been paying off Allie Stern.
It's a conspiracy.
Justin Upton is our pick today.
Little Miss Sunshine is picking glass tonight, I believe. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Whoever wins, everyone else does not matter.
There's only 2 episodes of Padres POV left, and as you just saw, we take you behind the scenes of Pick the Stick, why the Little Gnome Trophy is so heart-wrenching and thrilling for all of us talent at Fox Sports San Diego. Plus, Mark Grant has been challenging fans all season long on how well they know their home team. He's been going around the country challenging these guys, and Padres fans thought you were going to get off easy, but that is not the case. He challenged the Padres fans on this episode, and it's his final feature of Mar Funny Man Mark Grant quizzing the fans.
All right, thank you, Allie, and we're going to update that Pick the Stick because at the start tonight, Grant and Sturm representing our girl Chris were tied. Allie's picked up 2 points, and so has Clay for Grant, so they're still tied.
Yeah, you got to love that. Knotted up. I've had a horrible year and Pick the Stick.
I've had a great year. Yeah,
I'm actually going to winter ball.
I'm going to the Dominican League. I know that. Well, I might go up to Duluth first to go to the headquarters and see how they're doing.
You just want to pay him off of
it.
Get some extra points.
John Edwards comes in to pitch here in the 7th inning. And one of the things revealed on that Padres POV about our Pick the Stick is why is the trophy the Gnome?
Yeah, Gnome.
And that's revealed. I was able to reveal that. They gave me permission up there. Sam Liederkrantz, the president up in Duluth. Swing and a drive foul. INCIARTE is 1 for 3. Well, here it is officially. Well, swings. You're about to have some folks play some golf on your behalf. Myers with 3 points. How's Enberg doing here?
How's that going?
What's that old goose egg thing? I think that's that Mark Grant, I'm a good egg kind of thing. INCIARTE, that didn't feel very good. So he clips one off his puppies. Manager Hale and the trainer for the D-backs out. Looks like it caught him even though he has that protective sheath on that right side. You wore that, didn't you?
Yeah, some guys actually fire them off that shin or the ankle area with the swings, and this is getting outside the baseball, and you see it just firing off that instep. But what happens is some guys don't like it on the outside part because it'll tell them, hey, listen, that happens a lot to them. So they wear it underneath their pant leg. But even that protection just doesn't have it at times, and walking off, trying to get that feeling back on that front leg.
Well, we have a moment. There's some defensive changes for the Padres. Myers moves from first base to center field for Jankowski, and Wallace stays in the game at first. And we'll give you the batting order as the Padres come up in the bottom of the 7th.
I hope everything's all right with Jankowski. He's set to lead off the next inning.
High pop fly, shallow and right. Jerko goes out into right field, makes a catch. 1 out. Brings up Phil Gosselin, 2 hits and 3 at bats. Edwards is in the 9th spot in the batting order, so he's scheduled to hit first, and the pinch hitter, of course, for him in the last of this inning. So the damage done all in the first 4 batters in the order, particularly A.J. Pollock with an RBI single in the Grand Slam home run off starter Casey Kelly. Gosselin with a couple of hits, a single and a double, and has scored 2. Pollock due next.
Oh, good slider by Edwards.
Got a good arm, doesn't he?
He does.
Swing and a miss. Another 1-2.
When he gets on top of that breaking ball, it has good late break, that tilt that a lot of people talk about. And that's in the hitting zone. You see those awkward swings from the hitters.
High limb at 95. The attendance tonight on this Friday Hispanic Heritage Evening at Petco Park, 24,179. And we hope to see you out here on the weekend. Tomorrow night, 5:40 game time. Fly shallow toward the line. Long run, Kemp. Can he get there? Out of our view, he makes the play. How about that? Matt Kemp with the defensive play of the night.
Well, Dick, he goes a long way for this, but what I love is he goes into that slide to protect himself and into that mat area. Behind that mat is a cement wall. So you have to actually slide before you make the catch, and a nice effort by Matt Kemp.
Jerry Coleman would hang a star on that play.
You know it.
So 2 outs to H.A. Pollock. With the score now 6-3, Pollock's 5 RBIs, the obvious difference in this game. Back to the mound, comebacker, and Edwards works another solid 1-2-3 inning. Stretch half of the 7th at Petco. 6-3 Arizona. Would win, but here's the highlight play. Mookie Betts, oh my, takes a home run away with that circus catch in front of the Red Sox pen.
And watch the reaction of the bullpen. The beautiful catch, he catches himself, and the reaction of the bullpen to end it. A 7-0 final.
2-hit shutout for the Bo Sox. Defensive change for Arizona. Chris Owings goes in at shortstop, and Drury moves from short to second. And second baseman Gosselin out of the game. Melvin Upton is the pinch hitter. Batting for Edwards. Delgado still in the game. Watch out, coming back hot into the press box.
Well, impressive inning of work by John Edwards. A 1-2-3 inning. And continue to give the Padre offense an opportunity to come back in this game.
Low and away, 2-1 to Melvin.
There's John.
top deck. A 2-2 count to Upton with Myers and Spangenberg to follow, and Marcus Mateo getting ready in the pen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Delgado. And our closed captioning for tonight's game brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel.
Nice.
Put that with some Cholula, huh? A little Wiener Schnitzel
that
and
would be
Cholula.
so good.
That is a hot dog.
That's
then,
a
huh?
hot dog. Fire.
Matt Kemp doing a little honing work on that bat handle. RBI single for Myers and a walk tonight, and thinking about trying to bunt his way on. Pulls back, strike 1. With no batting gloves, and you look at those hands of Myers, how big and strong he is, and yet the wrist injury is been his problem this year and a year ago. We've said it before, all the way to spring training. You don't want to shake hands with him casually. You might hear a lot of crunching going on.
Yeah, you're right.
Two and 1. Padres building a picket fence up on the scoreboard. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. They keep that up. They should tie it in the 9th. There it is. After the D-backs jump out 6-0 after 2, the grand slam by A.J. Pollock in the 2nd. Curveball, 2-2. Inside. Changeup.
Yeah, that changeup had a lot of run to it. Ran off the plate inside to Will Myers.
Spangenberg, and anyone gets on Matt Kemp here in the 7th.
See that changeup just running away, and good recognition by Will Myers.
Came back with a fastball, 95.
Well, you see him behind just a little bit on that fastball, and that's because of the previous pitch, the changeup.
David Hernandez joins Hessler. Hernandez, the right-hander. Padres are 9-7 against the D-backs this year. 4-2 here. Swing and a miss. He got him to go after a ball high. A couple of strikeouts here for Delgado in the 7th.
Well, swinging out of the hands of Delgado. See in our phantom cam, this ball is way out of the strike zone, but you see that ball looks so good coming out of the hands of Delgado. You're already committed. You get out of the strike zone.
So he struck out the last 3 Padre batters, getting Wallace and the 6th with runners at the corners. And pinch hitter Upton, and now Myers to open the 7th. Spangenberg 0 for 3. Lined out to left. Good play made by Peralta, racing toward the line the last time. So tomorrow night, 5 o'clock for you TV fans here on Fox Sports San Diego. Robbie Erlin, the left-hander, gets a chance to pick up his first win here in 2015, called up from El Paso. Jeremy Hellickson once again works for the D-backs against the Padres. Padres have had good luck against him this year. They've beaten him 3 out of 4 times. 2-1. And then on Sunday, 12:30, our TV time, Military Sunday, James Shields goes for his 14th win of the year. 13-6 for the veteran right-hander against Jhoulys Chacin, the former Rocky. He's 1-1 with the D-backs. In there, 2-2. Got a call. And we're getting word now that Chacin will not be the starter, that the D-backs are going to make a change, give a rookie a chance. Zach Godley will now be the pitcher on Sunday. That's a good time to have a name Godley on a Sunday pitch, right?
That's exactly right.
Chip Hale in the spirit of the Sabbath. Full count, another changeup from Delgado. Back to the mound. Delgado will do the work himself, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the D-backs against the Padres. To the 8th, 6-3 Arizona.
Padres Live, the postgame show, which will be brought to you tonight by Cox Communications. Casey Kelly making his first big league start, Clay, since 2012. Started off a little bit rocky, 6 runs given up early, but then he seemed to settle in.
No, he settled in really good. You know, look, this is a big game for him. It's already a win for him tonight just to get out there on the mound. But like you said, he started off a little rough. This is part of the mental rehab process we touched on, but then he settled down nicely and retired his last 11 batters.
Got to give him a load of confidence going into whether it's his next start or his next appearance or just carrying it into the offseason to know that he made it back out to a big league mound. So congratulations to Casey. And, of course, the training staff does a wonderful job getting these guys healthy and back on the field. When we see in a post-game show, we'll break down Casey's night a little bit closer. Also, we're going to show you a catch by Mookie Betts of the Boston Red Sox. Might be, folks, catch of the year. You've got to stick around and check that out. Also, we'll have Jay and Dan to show you some of the highlights from the week. And you'll hear from the interim manager, Pat Murphy. So all that and more for you coming up after the final out. Nick Enberg and Mark Sweeney, guys.
Oh, he gets a lot of words in per minute, doesn't he?
He does.
Nice job, Mike. We'll be with you there for the post-game show.
Well, Marcus Mateo takes over his 25th game and has done a nice job against the right-handers, limiting them to a 207 batting average since July 11th.
He's facing a good one here. Paul Goldschmidt, an RBI double, a line out to right, and a fly ball to right. So all 3 balls hit by Goldschmidt to the opposite field. And this one also right center. And Kemp now almost in straightaway right with the out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres, and they may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
David Peralta, the batter. Well, last night, an unusual line score. The Padres won on only 6 hits, out hit by San Francisco 13-6. But the Padres prevailed. And tonight, another somewhat unusual run of action. Arizona gets 6 runs in the first inning and 2/3, and they haven't picked up a base hit since. They've got 1 walk, the only base runner since that grand slam by Pollock. And it's another quick inning at work as Jerko takes care of Peralta. The 1 base runner sends 1 out, home run by Pollock in the second.
Well, when you watch Casey Kelly get off to a tough start, you knew as a reliever that you were going to have that opportunity and hear that phone ring, and they have responded very well tonight. Despaigne, Edwards, and now Mateo. Here's Casey Kelly. Has to feel good about how this outing finished tonight.
Interesting, he's not wearing a long sleeve warm-up of any kind after pitching. Most pitchers will put a wrap or something on there. They must be feeling fine. Here's Castillo, 0 for 3. Again, all the action for the D-backs, the first 4 hitters. Inciarte with a single, Gosselin with a double and a single, 2 runs scored. Pollock with an RBI single in the grand slam, 5 RBIs, a career high, and Goldschmidt an RBI double. That's been it. Nothing from the bottom 5 in the order. 95 chases Castillo back. Padres trailing 6-3 here in the 8th. Two balls and a strike. Gets it up there, 96. And falls behind now, 3-1. After Castillo, Jake Lamb.
Fox Tracks by Nissan had that 5th pitch just off the edge. See Castillo on a hitter's count, being very aggressive.
Left-hander Zepchinski. Should Castillo successfully reach, then Lamb, a left-handed batter, next. Got him. Went to the slider. 1-2-3 inning again. Padres bullpen just shut the door on the D-backs.
Brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com and see how much you could save. And by Petco. What we feed them matters. Alexi Amaristo, the hero last night, with a game winner in the ninth, with a base hit again tonight and an RBI. Daniel Hudson comes in to pitch for the D-backs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The veteran right-hander who had not one but 2 Tommy John surgeries, and now back in his 60th game this year.
You know, Dick, we talk about Casey Kelly at the beginning of the game, and Daniel Hudson made his first appearance last year. I'll never forget it, here at Petco Park, and getting over that, just understanding and getting on the mound and the reaction from his teammates last year. And Casey Kelly in the same situation this year. Pretty impressive. See this right-hander, and he's a talented right-hander that was a starter before the surgeries and now pitching out of the bullpen. And this is a plus arm, fastball, slider, and changeup.
He has 62 strikeouts in 63 innings pitched. Here's Kemp. Slider low and away. Kemp has struck out, singled and scored, also stole a base. Hit it sharply the last time, but Lamb made a good play back at third base in foul territory to throw him out. One and one. Hudson, a couple of saves and 8 holds in his last 19 games. Slice to right, but that's going to go into the seats. A reminder, tomorrow our TV time 5 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Lefty Robbie Erlin on the mound for the Padres against the right-hander Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson 9 and 10 for the D-backs. 5 o'clock, our pregame show. Padres have had good success hitting against Hellickson. Kemp goes down swinging on the slider. 1 away here in the 8th. Justin Upton 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, you wonder, with Daniel Hudson coming off those 2 surgeries, what the Diamondbacks will do with this young man. Still a young man in the game. So you wonder if they would like to see him start again or just keep him in the bullpen where they can handle his innings and limit those innings.
"28 years of age is Hudson. 97. He can get it up there. Attended Old Dominion University, Virginia. High school at Virginia Beach. Of course, Upton also from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Oh, wait, now I've got a second thought. I think maybe it's the Maryland Shores that Upton is from. I have to double check my geography here. No, he's from Virginia as well, Upton. It's like when you're taking a test, you know, your first instinct, don't try to outguess yourself. Yeah. Go with it.
I like your first instinct.
Justin born in Norfolk and grew up in that hotbed of baseball talent there in Virginia. The Shores. 2 balls and a strike. That's a good slider, 2-2. Jed Jerko will follow. Padres trailing 6-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Might be a play for Goldschmidt. It's coming back to him, and he does glove it right at the barrier.
for the second out here in the 8th.
As promised earlier in the game, we have tonight's T-Mobile Strongest Fan Photo. Tweet your photo using hashtag SDDataStrongFan for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
Andrew Kastner posing there for Crazy Charisma. I like it.
Charisma's a big fan of the Padres, and thank you for your picture. Keep sending them in, Padre fans.
Jed Jerko. He takes a strike. Well, you ought to have your family send in your young son Gavin up here.
Yeah.
He wanted to take my job. He got that microphone on. He didn't want to take it off.
My 3-year-old entered his first game as in the Padre game tonight. He had to check out. Still nap time. He's got to get down. But he had a great experience.
Come on, get him some cotton candy. That'll keep him awake.
I'm sure he asked for it. You know it. Got to have the full experience if you're going to take in your first game.
What was the first thing he said? Why is it so noisy in here?
Well, he's wide-eyed, and he'll keep on talking about it.
1-1 to Jerko, 2-1. And I've seen you've shown us that the video of him with the plastic bat and hitting off the tee. He's got a nice little left-handed cut there.
Yeah, he likes to swing the bat. I'm gonna implement the leg kick and see where he goes. Now he loves it. Played T-ball last year for the first time. Had a lot of fun. My wife Cindy and Kendall also made the game tonight.
Down goes Jerko and a couple of strikeouts for Hudson in the 1-2-3 8th inning. All right, the Friday Night Festival, Hispanic Heritage Night here at Petco Park. Eduardo Ortega, our colleague on Spanish radio, covers the Padres, one of the great announcers in this game. He came in with a pocket squares. I know you don't like the pocket squares, but how about Eduardo? He had one red, one white, and one green for the Mexico colors.
That's living up in the colors. And you expect that from Eduardo. Big fan.
And he announced the starting lineup, and he gave it all the, what would you call it now? There he is, Eduardo there on the right. Oh, you got to see the pocket square, Eduardo.
Eduardo, show the pocket square.
And
come on.
Carlos
Hernandez.
The Padre catcher.
Obviously, it's casual Friday for Carlos Hernandez.
Zepchinski comes in the 9th inning. Jake Lamb leads it off, takes a strike. Lamb has grounded out twice and walked. Yeah, it's that soccer call flair, you know, a lot of
could never roll my R's.
Yeah, he could really roll them, and it was a great way to introduce the starting lineup tonight. Hard to roll the R's in Jerko, though. I mean, but he still gave it a good shot. 2 quick strikes on the Arizona third baseman. I think they expected more out of Lamb this year. They thought he would be a 15 home run guy or more. He's hit 6.
I saw Jake Lamb last year, and he struggled with the fastball. A little bit better this year. But at the big league level, you're going to have to prove that you can hit the fastball at this level consistently, especially from an everyday player.
And he's caught looking. Zepchinski with a strikeout. And it's time now to look at the in-game box score, brought to you by the UPS store. And for Arizona, all their hits in the first 2 innings. INCIARTE, Gosselin 2, and the big blows Pollock, an RBI single in the first, a grand slam homer in the second to account for 5 of the 6 runs, and Goldschmidt knocked in the other with a double. So Zepchinski comes in the 9th to pitch to the one left-handed hitter. Pitching change made with the Padres trailing here in the 9th, 6-3.
Finish, as you just mentioned, it's been 3 years since he's had a start in the big leagues, and there's been a number of athletic trainers and therapists in our organization that have worked on him. Certainly Kelly's got to be excited, Casey's got to be excited, and our guys are just as excited for him. And it's definitely a mental grind as well as a physical grind, but probably more of a mental grind than anything else.
Yeah, Todd Hutchinson, the head athletic trainer, 18th season in the big leagues, and credits all of his staff and the amount of energy they have to put into Casey Kelly, getting his first major league start in almost 3 years. And I commend everyone that put their time into not only Casey Kelly, but everyone else to get them back on the field.
New pitcher is Jay Jackson facing Drury, and not to interrupt your praise of the training staff, and you talk about putting in the hours. You couldn't afford that group if you had to pay them on an hourly rate. Right. I mean, they from spring training on, or I mean, I think they probably work 16 hours a day.
They do, and they love what they do, and it shows. But mentally being there for that rehab process, physically getting it done, but also mentally and being a best friend is so important, and they do that with this staff.
Jay Jackson. And he's ahead on the count, 2 strikes to Drury. Yasmani Tomas has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due next. 1 out, 9th inning. 6-3 the score. Paul Navarro. What a good guy. I mean,
10th full season for Paul Navarro. His 11th season in the big leagues.
Their work is so passionate, endless. They never say no. Ground ball swept to the left side. Spangenberg, good range, and a good dig by Wallace at first. And 2 away.
Seen some nice plays by Corey Spangenberg going to his left, and watch his shoulders. Gets his shoulders towards that throw. A nice pick on the back end by Brett Wallace.
Yasmani Tomas was a big signee, a Cuban star. Hits 282, much less power, 9 home runs than they expected from him. Earlier in the season had trouble pulling the ball. As Brad Ziegler, it's a save situation, and he's their man to close the deal. Ziegler has 27 saves. That's really quite something, isn't it? The Diamondbacks come out a roaring. They get a double Gosselin, RBI single Pollock, RBI double Goldschmidt, 2-0. Second inning, with 1 out, bases loaded. Pollock hits a grand slam, 6-0. They have not collected a single hit since. 2 outs now in the 9th. As Kelly settled down, then Despaigne, a hitless inning. John Edwards, a 1-2-3 inning. Mateo retired the side in order in his inning. Sepchinsky and Jay Jackson getting 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Pride and Joy of Greenville, South Carolina. To Furman there. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Tomas cost the D-backs a pretty penny, whatever that is. I don't know where that expression started, but I'm sure that goes back in the years when a penny really could buy you something.
Yeah. Pretty penny.
Yeah. Tomas is just 24, native of Havana, now lives in Haiti. Played for the Yankees of the Cuban Baseball League, the Industriales. The Giants trailing 5-4. We understand that's now a final. And because of that loss, the Cubs are definitely in the playoffs. They're assured the wild card spot.
Yeah, the Giants lose 5-4 up in Oakland.
That means Pittsburgh and the Cubs at the moment are the wild card teams. That could change here in the final week. But it's unlikely they're going to catch the Cardinals, although the Cardinals did lose tonight. So they're only 3 up on Pittsburgh. High fly ball. Upton searching into the night, and it come down right there. Another 1-2-3 inning. Padres against Ziegler need 3 to tie. Delivered by A.J. Pollock, second inning, a grand slam home run. He drove it 427 feet. That took the score from 2-0 to 6-0. And the 6 has been enough for the D-backs as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, 6-3. And Brad Ziegler, the side-wheeling right-hander, comes in to try to save it. He's converted 25 consecutive save opportunities.
Well, it's going to be a tall task for the San Diego Padres, and it'll be very important to try to get that first base runner on. But they've had some late inning heroics of late. Why not again?
He's the first Arizona pitcher to work in 60 games or more 4 consecutive years, and the only pitcher in baseball to appear in 60 games each of the last 7 years. Talk about a workhorse. Well, the men that study physiology, kinesiology, say that when you go straight over the top, you're working with a lot of antagonistic muscle groups. But when you drop your arm lower and lower and lower, sidearm, much freer motion. And that's why some of the old timers, as they get an age, they drop that arm down. In this case, he's almost submarine.
Well, I think a lot of the general managers, when you construct a roster and especially a bullpen, would love to see a sidearm look, especially from right-handed, possibly a left-handed sidearmer, a Mike Myers type guy.
Norris leads it off for the Padres and takes 2-0.
But you can bring in Brad Ziegler, who is an 8th inning guy and also a closer now, and you see this motion induces a lot of ground balls.
Buggy whips that ball, and a sharp ground ball up the middle. Norris says hello, greets him with a single. Second hit for Norris tonight after 2 doubles and a home run last night. He continues his hot hitting, batting over 300 the last 46 games.
Well, we said he induces ground balls, but the hard ground ball, see the late action, very difficult to get elevated, but Norris working the middle of the diamond.
Well, that's a start for the Padres. Amarista the batter. RBI single the last time, 1 for 3 tonight. Ziegler, 5th year with the Diamondbacks, broke into the big leagues with the Oakland A's, pitched 4 years up in the east side of the Bay.
Well, Dick, you see this lane right there. Not a bad time if you're going to hit a ground ball through that lane.
But instead he hits it to the second baseman, and that's going to become a double play. Oh, gets away from Goldschmidt. Well, that's a break. And Goldschmidt hangs his head for a moment. That was a double play ball, unable to come up with the throw on the relay. So that keeps hopes alive for the Padres. That had double play written all over it off the bat of Amarista.
Yeah, it looks like Goldschmidt wanted to make that play. And let's watch how Derek Norris goes in, and he goes in hard.
Now that's a tough play for Goldschmidt because he's trying to keep that foot anchored on the bag, and then the throw was wide enough. He couldn't quite get that left arm out there.
And the effort by Derek Norris disrupting that throw by Chris Owings.
So with 1 out, Brett Wallace bats again. He struck out as a pinch hitter earlier. Jan Solarte has a bat in the on-deck circle. Now we've seen 2 ground balls from Ziegler already, and that's why he throws so many double play balls. See how that fastball, like an overhand, it'll rise a little bit. Underhanded, it kind of, you're going to get it to sink, and then the curveball rises.
Well, what you have to do offensively is just look for that ball up. If it starts out of his hands low, you have to try to stay off that unless you have 2 strikes.
Shift on for Wallace. He takes a strike, 2-1.
And I don't mind that take by Wallace. See the shift on, 3 guys on the right side.
Daring him to hit to the left side. Padres need him to get on, bring that tying run to the plate. So base hit the other way wouldn't be a bad thing at all. But he chops it to the right side, and they'll try for 2 again and only get 1. Safe at first on the fielder's choice is Wallace, and with 2 outs in the 9th, it'll be Solarte as we revisit the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, tough night, and I talked about the emotional wave coming off 2 back-to-back walk-off wins, and the Padres trail 6-3. But Casey Kelly, in those 5 innings, he had a struggle at the beginning of this start, but really finished his job tonight on a good note. There's Casey Kelly. Congratulations, because that is important moving forward.
Retired the last 11 men in order after he started giving up 6 runs on 6 hits in the first 2, but settled down and showed all the right stuff. Now Solarte trying to keep it alive here in the bottom of the 9th. Myers on deck, the leadoff man. Wallace will walk into second base on the DI. Defensive indifference. Lifted off first, and Goldschmidt has a beat on it. And when it comes down in his glove, the ball game is over. First of 3 goes to Arizona. The final, D-backs 6, the Padres 3. And here's Mike Pomerantz.
Dick, thank you very much. When Clay and I see you on Padres Live, the post-game show will break down what happened on the field. Hey, congratulations to Casey Kelly. Gets himself on the mound for the first time since 2012 as a big league starter. We'll have more on that, and we'll have a preview of Padres POV. Plus, you're going to hear from the interim manager, Pat Murphy, in just a couple of moments.